Thank you. All right. Hello, everybody. Thank y'all for being here tonight. So I just birthed a brand new chapbook. It's in the back there. I wrote it at a art gallery in West Oakland. And, and I was writing in response to, it's called Aggregate Space. I was writing in response to the artwork of Christopher Birch. And it was all about the trickster character of Brer Rabbit. And I really liked the resilience of that character, and I related him a lot to some of the figures from Trinidadian folklore. That's where my dad is from. So I'm going to start with a poem that's not in the chapbook, but it's related, and then I'm going to read a few from the chapbook. So this is called Trini Talk. Once, I knew my father's voice as his own tune. Then came school. With class in session, I got the words right. In the right place, in the right order, with the right sound. And now I heard why people asked about an accent in my father's tune. He treated his words like a child's balloons, floating them into the air, ending with vowels, taking care to avoid landing on anything sharp. In school, they said nothing about Trini Talk, nothing about language, neither right nor wrong, so I came home and I tried to help. To point out where he was wrong and say, Daddy, say it right. No, I knew nothing of Trini Talk, or I'd have asked to share that song. Teach me come to the words with an open mouth. Teach me say calypso just so, like we limin' till the sun go down. And teach me how this tongue can find me home, find me freedom. No matter who say we talkin' wrong, cut eye don't kill. No matter who say we wrong, we come from someplace right. That's right. And from that place we come strong. So I'm going to read a few poems from the chapbook, which is called Split Ears. And this is the opening poem called All Kinds of Ears. Story time is a darkening eye at the center of this storm. In childhood, story time came to us through the hums of home, grown-up voices at our bedsides. We pulled between the need for sleep and the joy of the story world until dream world granted us both. In school, story time was a pop quiz in the taming of sugar-induced restlessness. After recess, we quieted, save for the crinkle of empty candy wrappers in our pockets, sitting in a circle with sticky hands folded, following the lull of promised stories. When story time came through our own imaginations, it ate through our circles to introduce the thrill of fear, telling about what we'd heard, and we all heard something scary. Guess we were all ears, all kinds of sinister little ears, because we were all, I heard the old lady down the street takes kids into her shaded house, turns them into that stale candy she gives out to trick-or-treaters. And I heard fireflies, a really black magic woman come to suck your blood. And I heard your mama cooks her own toenails into that soup she makes for you. When we were teenagers, story time was an unsealed envelope delivering the secrets of sex. What was it? And who we'd do it with, and how to do it, from the girl who'd never really done it. I heard you smell different after, like cherry chapstick kissing gutter water. I heard your braces can get stuck on pubes. I heard his thing can get stuck in you. And when we were supposed to be growing up, none of us felt much like growing up, and story time was drunk. And it was all good. Somebody saying, I heard these are the best years of our lives. Oh my God. And somebody else hurrying up, please, to let us hear something else before we got to thinking too hard and we ended the night blubbering like just born babies. And one day we did get to thinking maybe we're growing up. Only because story time meant passing a slow roasted joint rather than a sweaty flask. And because we talked bad breakups instead of how to get laid. And story time got quiet. Wondering quiet with each of us in our own time, wondering if we're all hearing different stories with the same rhyme. When we're sure we're growing up, it's only because we do story time to a forlorn B.B. King tune. And we're talking babies and bills saying, I heard we have to pay taxes the rest of our lives. repeating our grandparents' last words, saying, I heard, I heard, I heard, I heard you can't pray till you've laughed, and I don't laugh anymore. I heard story time will, one day, be sweet again. When I'm the old lady, the topic of the neighborhood's tall tales, and I'm the source of them too. Children will form a half moon around me as I tell them what I've heard. I heard fireflies suck your blood. I heard about fear, and I heard about love. I heard these are the best years of my life, and this time I believe it because I've heard enough rhymes. I heard I can't pray till I've laughed, and now I can laugh because I've cried. I heard, I heard, I heard. It's beautiful. Thanks, y'all are too kind. I read a few more. So this one is about a figure from Trinidad called La Diablesse. And she's this figure who appears as a beautiful woman, and a man starts following her into the forest, and then it turns out that she's got this corpse-like face, and one of her legs is a hoof, and she leads him to his death eventually.
Awesome.
Yeah, I like her. This is called La Diablesse, Usher's Dusk. Not resurrecting. Not exactly. Not haunting. No. And I don't simply slip out from the saturation of thick air. I come to you, lonely boy, from gone-by days. Hear the iron chains slide across my waist, and hear me rocking across the sea to tend the fields as a slave. Can't call me a ghost if I still have my bones. And I still have them stirring in my bag, stirring from the dirt from my grave. Unlike you, lonely boy, I need no skeleton to carry my body. For that, I have one hoof stamping below my skirt. Wouldn't you like to know how a woman so old can return? What'd your granny tell you? Did she say I stop a solitary man who's been doing wrong at dusk? Then why you, lonely boy? What you done wrong? Watch your shadow. Bet your granny's told you I'll take it. Turn from the setting sun. I'd say I already have. Thank you. I'm going to read one more. This is called The Tilt of Your Echo. You seek protection. You seek the preservation of your shadow, where you exist without light, without flesh even, without your senses to make words of your world. This ever-present echo of your existence sometimes serves as your only reminder that sight goes both ways, as the lenses of your perception and as the glass case putting you on display. With your back to the wall, your shadow lurks behind you like a bat's folded wings. It leans away from you, crooked as your deviant side and just as persistent. You're not one to walk the night, find what daytime would call trouble and dive into her bosom, except when you do. And you don't haunt dark corners or cling to strangers' hips, and you never lie, except when you do. With light on watch, you tell only tales of your angelic behavior, but you won't shake that shadow from your side. Collecting darkness from the nighttime, the presence bound to you becomes more solid, more entity than evanescent being. You would feel the illumination of its absence, wouldn't you? And you would tell me if my shadow vanished, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you, please? Thank you.
Yeah.